Can all young people stand up? Can all young people, the youth leaders, even those that are not yet 25 years, stand up, please? So, young Kachifas, I will respect the fact that you are the chairperson hosting us here. Can you quickly give us something before we start this such a very great session? Over to you. Something like an agenda, quickly.
Okay, perhaps I have my vice is very aware and very prepared.
Okay.
Usually go forward and do very simple exercise.
Please,
Yeah.
I'll give you only 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's the first chair.
Oh,
Next chair.
I like the fact that you can translate to the other
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important. Sure.
Yufi Joy! Yufi Joy! Yufi Moebi! Zuzu! Yufi Moebi! Yufi Moebi! Okay, jambo wengi wa 5 kono uso kwenye na 5 ndoga 5 uso ga 5 tuzalo na 5 kafuru watu mzee ya 2 minutes ya kuungana. Bobo? Yeah. Uwe? Yeah. Mufuni nawe? Yeah. Really? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1.
We engaging with the youth themselves. At least they should come out and say what is supposed to be done. I was actually seeing, hey, now on the fire, right? Madam, because wherever the young people, they always be inquisitive to know and understand how are you doing your things. On a big hand for yourself, young people, for not taking yourself for granted. You are the equal contributors to the national development. But my quick question here, I have only 2 of them, and this is why I'm here. I am Chikondi Njaya, and I happen to be the national chairperson of the National Youth Network, NYN, and also it represents the country at the AFIAN Malawi chapter, and by AFIAN is African Youth and Adolescent Network on Population and Development. Thank you so much, and here I am. Hollis, would you beam the questions? I understand Mr. Chisi is correcting the recommendations which will be here. We want to get it from the youth. What is it supposed to be done by the COMESA and the other eco structures that were actually built? But now, this time around, we want to get it right here from you. What are the key challenges that we are having, much as national development here in our country is concerned, as young people? Be free. I can see the rapporteur is taking note of that. Please, Hollis, you are not around? Okay. So what are the key challenges that we, the young leaders, the youth, are actually facing, or we are anticipating facing, much as the national development is concerned? So quickly, 1.
We had hinted about the institutions and the setups that are there, like NIF, to provide funding to youths. They have not really been working, of course. That's a big thing. And I think one of the key issues that affects youth development is the politicization of development. We need to remove politics from development on the ground. Because if we are against each other as youths, because I'm from this party, I'm from this party, and we're not going to work together, nothing is going to happen. And the support that we're getting from our political leaders when it comes to development should be based solely on development. You'll find sometimes if, let's say, DBB can be in power, they'll implement something, then MCP will come in power, they'll stop the implementation of that project and start another one. So it's like abundance development, and it also happens to young people coming down.
Nothing for us without Is it still working? So Madam Ministry is actually looking at me. So the first thing is remove the political element in this, whatever we are doing, isn't it? What else do we think are the key challenges? Monica, please, over there.
I've noticed in this country is the value return. It's the biggest challenge because I feel like we neglect the very most important aspects of development. First aspect being intellectual property rights and security. We're looking at young people, young innovators, not even being paid for what they've actually developed. And we're looking at value return in terms of saying contribution. What is my contribution worth? And what's the value return? You find young people, serious innovation, serious programs, serious organizations, they don't have funds, but can sustain themselves because what they put in doesn't give them a return. So if we could look into the awareness campaigns of intellectual property rights and security, we can also get a step closer. Like you're looking at a country that's financially independent from debt and actually moving in a direction where we're independent to run our programs as we see fit. And thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. A big hand as well. That is all. Malawi has over 200 youth-led organizations. Am I right, Madam Ministry of Youth? Over 200 youth-led organizations registered by the National Youth Council of Malawi, with the powers invested in them by the National Youth Council Act 1996, Act number 22. So it has registered over 200 clubs. So the guy is interested in what are organizations doing? What are these organizations doing? And whatever they are doing, how are they appreciated? Are they really connecting the value in the youth? What are we doing, the ministry, the civil society organization, or the civil society community and all that? Anyways, it has got over 7,000 clubs. We are talking about Malawi. And think about that as we're going. 5,000 to 7,000 clubs in Malawi. I think we should be thinking about that and how are they contributing? So what are the key challenges? Over to you, my dear sister, and contribute to this platform so that we can actually take it right away.
Red flag flats, they're not taking serious. Like saying that they say I'll come back to you, or they don't respond at all. And when that youth persists in asking the same question, I think that no, like it's a rebel or something, or I'm not inside the pants.
Emotion.
Yeah, which is actually bad. But I've seen it happen. Like even in schools, they say it's right, and maybe there was a good intention, because that thing was raised by, let's say, the administration may end up maybe passing with suspension or even get expelled just because somebody raised so a problem with something and then actually do something which is maybe the demonstration of that thing actually happens around this house. So maybe having open mind people in power so that they should be accommodating some of the ideas.
So you have also provided a recommendation.
Yes.
Ah, thank you so much. That's good of you. That's it. We are proceeding. We want to cover it in the next plan. That other side, far? Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so the challenge that I'm looking at is the challenge of an equal participation of the youth themselves. So this is both at driving, the changes and the changes that as far as participation is concerned. Now this is coming in two ways forward. The first program is being contributed by people who are already, who are already in the structures, like in the organograms of organizations, statutory corporations and all this. It's like we have more of old people, as has been said, that are leading. Now for these people, they lack the apathy to advocate for youth engagement participation. This is why they come back to the youth and they tell the young people that you are the leaders of tomorrow. But they are the leaders of today. Because those old people, it's like their future is like they don't have a future. So it's like they're just living. I hope you're understanding my point. So they lack the apathy to say how can to drive it. They lack the apathy. So for this to get realized, we need to have young people even there we need to have the equal participation of the young people. That is, putting the old people, they have to give way. They need to change their mindset and say, we can accommodate the young people here. Because they also want to, eat more. So they can't just let go. So we need that aspect. Also, I'm looking at the challenge of young people themselves. We heard of contribution. That young people, they want those positions, but then when they are there, they can't contribute. They don't have the capacity, they don't have the knowledge and the skills. So we also need the aspect of investing so much in the young people, to train them, to give them the necessary knowledge so that, they can be able to contribute even when we put them in such positions. So I think it's both of the challenge and then proposed solutions.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was so rich as well. And I was actually going back to my brother there, who asked the NPC, National Planning Commission, whether they have put a program related to that. Is that in connection to that, my brother? Sure, they should change from the ones that are holding the power now. We should have programs that can change them also. I think I got you. Oh, thank you so much. That other side, yes.
Mr. Chisi.
Oh, yes.
Okay. He was very practical in his approach, in his presentation. He wasn't theoretical, he was very much practical in his approach. The big challenge that we have in this country is that we don't bring centrality of the youth in the whole drive of the development of this country. We are here to be consulted, simply to be consulted, but not to be key players and anchor the whole exercise. We operate from the periphery. Unfortunately, this has been a trend, a structured trend. Okay? You just mentioned yourself to say there are how many organizations registered?
Over 200 youth-led organizations.
Under Ministry of?
They are all falling under Ministry of Youth. They are all falling under this.
As we speak right now,
It's done by National Council.
as we speak now, National Youth Council, it's actually on its dead knees. There is no attempt to revitalize the capacity of National Youth Council. So by the fact that you see that National Youth Council is dead, forget about youth, everything, whatever is coming. I was actually privileged, Madam, in case maybe I should mention to you, when my Congress Party was developing National Youth Service, I was part of that. The way we actually, we thought how it would be framed and how now it has shifted to be implemented by the ministry right now, it will be another cosmetic project that is in offering. It's lacking depth and the whole needed capacity that initiative, if it's going to have the required impact to this country and change how we actually include or we bring young people on board. So the big challenge is we use young people just to drive a short-term agenda, but the benefits go somewhere else, unfortunately, which is a big challenge. If you saw that lady when she was making a presentation, there was a constant young people, I mean from the audience, they were coming frequently to quiz the lady. To me, I wasn't looking at those questions. The young people are protesting in this country. They're protesting because for quite long, okay, it has been concepts in their name, but not necessarily for them, to own them, even to drive them. Sad so to say. Okay? So this has been a problem which has been there for quite long. We have been developing good projects, initiatives. We have NIF right now. It's not for the youth. It's just to fulfill some political, rhetorics and everything else. But to track it to say where is the impact? Zero. So it's very important that maybe as young people we should also realize to say we should not forget that one day the seniors will wake up and to consider to say, no, you come here, take this. You won't be given, we need to fight for this. We don't know how strong we are. We have numerical advantage. We are in majority, but we are too much divided to stand for a cause and rectify certain things which have gone wrong in this country for quite long. it's very sad that even those people, the young people, if you go to social media, from MCP block, DPP block, UTM block, and all other political parties blocks, if you see them fighting on the Facebook, they're very pathetic young people. They fight just because they've been given 5,000 kwacha bundle to do that way. But meet them, face them, reality. They're in very bad shape, so to say. At what point are we going to rise and indeed make ourselves, we already have numerical advantage to change the course of this country? So, I've said maybe a lot, I need to apologize, but the big problem that we have in this country is that let's create value within ourselves as young people. That's when we'll be recognized, or we'll be able to get this space and control the space. Centrality is key in all this. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much.
It can be a challenge, but also a solution. But I'm thinking of the spirit, having a spirit of volunteerism, because the 200 organizations, the 7,000 youth clubs we are talking about, they're there because they volunteered to be part of those processes. But at the same time, we also understand that a lot of young people do not want to volunteer. That's why we see a lot of people from the Western world coming to Malawi and volunteer in our different organizations. We don't get a lot of young people from the education sector to come and learn from what other people are doing. So if we invest much of our time in volunteerism and learn, if I talk about learning, I mean like mentorship, there should be some people who will be teaching or educating these other volunteers so that they have the knowledge and skills. Because if we don't have the knowledge and skills, even if you are well educated up to that time we are professors, but we don't have the knowledge on how to do things on the ground, I think our education would not be of relevant. That is why even Mr. Marcel Chis, in his presentation, he talked much about our responsibilities as young people, having the willingness to learn. So it's something that we need to think of, having the spirit of volunteerism, but at the same time seeking for learning through mentorship programs. Otherwise, if we go through the academic system and we get out with the education system that we have in Malawi, even at the workplace, we're not going to perform. Because we also need maybe to reform our education system so that they should go in line with what is there at the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At least, yes, a lady, and then go.
We much as the youth, we are much dependent on some other programs that the youth, Ministry of Youth are implementing. We see that all the times the youth are failing to participate in voluntary way. Most of the times when it comes to participating in youth activities, mostly with the Ministry of Youth or the District Council, it's all about when you have maybe a program that is associated with money, the youth now they are very participative at all times. We have never seen such a huge amount of youth in Blantyre participating in voluntary issues most of the times. Most of the times, if they only participate, it's like they have that dependency syndrome of receiving money, then they will participate in that activity. And apart from that, on the programs, the District Youth Council is implementing, I just wanted maybe to have a recommendation that if they could change their programs, because I joined the youth in 2014, that is. Ever since 2014, we've been having the same trainings, leadership training every year. So sometimes it's very confusing, and some of the youth, they're not energetic when it comes to participating in trainings, because it's the same issue that we hear every year. If you want to participate in another program, maybe an organization, a different organization has come in, then you see new topics. So on that issue, I think they should do something on that. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, great. So,
they need to pay for water and office management, and then they have to do something on youth development. What can they do? That's the cheapest they can do. There's nothing else they can do. So unless if we lobby for more funding to the offices that they can do something important, something different, it still goes back to fundraising. So you continue having the leadership training, the comprehensive sexuality education trainings, because those ones can be covered with 100,000, just giving you lunch allowance, and then you are there, or just transferring funds, and then you are.
if I had a question to the minister again, which program or what training are you comparing with? If the guy is saying leadership, right? So which program are you comparing with, which can cost?
There are a lot of programs. There's agribusiness. We can train young people to agribusiness. We can link them with the agriculture officers and the extension workers. But then for you to get the extension workers to come and link up with the youth, they need resources. Even for the training itself, there are some trainings that you cannot conduct in a day or two. You need 5 days, 7 days, of which even the vendor that you're conducting the training, you need to pay and everything else. So some trainings require you at least a minimum of 1,500,000 to do it. So it still goes back to funding. And then when the NGOs come with the funding, that's when you see different things, because they have the money. And then we do what they want. Sometimes even the sexuality education that you're talking about comes with donors. And when the donors are coming, they have a string attached to it. They say, we give you this money, but we want you to do comprehensive sexuality. We want you to do leadership. There's nothing else you can do apart from doing what they want, because you can't choose. So lobby for more funding.
Another challenge on the part of the young people is lack of patience when they see money. I will give an example. When young people have been given an opportunity to hold to the position of power, for instance, in the US Band administration, there were many young people that were actually involved, and the government was a bit fluid in terms of youth participation. But what we saw was that most of the young people that were actually put in that higher positions, they are the ones that were involved much in Cashgate. I can't mention names, but some of those people, those that we hear, they were shooting each other in the long way at one of the bars. So I think on our part as well, as young people, we have to be strategic, we have to reposition ourselves. And as they were talking about mindset change, it has to start with us as well as young people.
I won't take much of your time. The challenge I foresee as a young person is the growing cancer of corruption that is in our country. We have been saying Malawi is renowned for its good policy and strategies, but then implementation is a challenge. So, as of now, we have gone a right step because we have a youth wing with the Anti-Corruption Bureau. We have a youth wing, but there may be capacity and resources few. So my recommendation is to empower this structure. It's a very good structure that will mainstream anti-corruption in our generation.
Thank you so much. So what we call youth pillar, as among the 12 pillars that we have, the other question is, are you taking part? So it goes back to you. Are you taking part at your council or holding junior bearers to account when they have 200-something thousand just to run for a month? Are you holding them to account? Are they really using that? And it's really making you to be there. It's a question to you, young people, wherever you're coming from.
I have seen personally is the lack of awareness when it comes to financial opportunities. So here in Malawi, timadalira goma kwambiri as youth and everyone. But I got to a certain point where I said that, okay, I think maybe the government has a lot on its hands, so let me resort to other ways. So I started looking at the internet for financial opportunities from now international organizations. So what I can tell you guys is that people out there have money, but they are looking for people with ideas so that they invest in them. So instead of us just looking up to the government, I think we can try to look at another approach. So I know that a lot of youth have great and brilliant ideas. What we need mostly is money to finance our projects. I went to a certain meeting where there was a UNDP representative, and she mentioned that every financial year there are billions sent back to their funders because there are no projects here in Malawi to fund. And I was like, wow. We have so many projects that we just think of it, and we don't put it in writing, we don't put it in a proposal. If you don't know how to write a proposal, you can approach someone who can write it for you. Because when it comes to international organizations, they need people who can write proposals and timelines and budgets and all that. I know it's a hassle, but it's worth it. When they give you money, you cannot just spend it anyhow. They follow up. You have Zoom calls, they come and like assess your project, where are you, how long it's going to run and everything. So my proposed solution is that let's make good use of the internet. There are so many opportunities that we can look at, whether it's in agriculture, in technology, in climate change. There are so many organizations that are funding all those things. So instead of us just looking at the government, let's also try to look at those international funders so that they fund us. The ideas are ours, we just need them to fund them for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is the ministry happy with the
create our own spaces? Yeah, that's very true. But I think apart from that, we should be creating our own spaces. I think we need also to be creaming for the existing spaces. Because in those spaces, there are some gurus who have, that is the first experience, in which as the youths, we can be there and we can be learning 2 or 3 things from them. And at the same time, those people who are already there, they have history, they can share with us. So there is a statement which says, ignorance of history leads to the perpetual damnation of the posterity. So I think we need to be in those existing spaces so that we can be, learning 2 or 3 things, and even have, that is the bit of history of what has been happening in those spaces for us to progress better. And at the same time, sorry? Okay. And at the same time, I wanted to mention about this thing. Hey, I don't. Okay, I don't know if I should. I think I should just hold it back. But yeah, let me hold it back.
Thank you so much. I don't want to.
So if it's possible, that we put issues to do with Braille, issues to do with translating our strategies, our national development policies into local languages, because the mission is to do with young people in the rural understanding issues better when we engage with them. But do they understand the language that we're using? So I was thinking of maybe possibly coming up with translated policies to enable young people to will not be able to understand English, but rather have some mother tongue language to enable them to understand what's going on.
Wow.
The Malawians.
That's brilliant. That's very
Braille
nice.
and these main donors, like especially big bodies like UN and the like, the process for applying for those funds is very difficult and rigorous. Not everyone can do it. They need to simplify that process of applying for those funds. That's the reason why most youths don't apply for those funds and get them. The process is just too difficult. Even for an organization that is established, they also fail to do that process. So I think what we need to do, I don't know if our main bodies or governments can intercede on our behalf as youths to ask them to simplify the process to a point where there's accountability and transparency, but we are also able to actually complete the process and give them what they need so that they can release the funds.
That's very, very nice. Let me get out of the stage and give it back to Chico, my namesake. But remember, food comes from agriculture and not from tweeting, Instagramming, and what? Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the session.